Hey y'all, I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Alyssa.
And we're back at you with another episode. We're your buttons babes, and so we gonna push to start. What
All
you
right.
got, mama?
So my push to start this week is seeing accountability on the internet from people, and I really like it. As you may or may not know, I love TikTok. And I love TikTok for so many reasons, and I hate it for so many different reasons. But I've been noticing a lot of dudes stepping in for some of our favorite Lock and Key podcast videos. And
okay.
I mean, I understand the algorithm. You eventually get to where you only see what you want to see, and I love that and whatever. But I've found a place that I love on the internet.
Okay.
That is a lot of dudes stepping up and showing not all men versus like saying not all men, and it's been really cool. I've seen a lot of videos this week that have like made me think and reconsider a lot of things that I like know or think to know, and generalizations that like we've all made and have all seen of like that. It's been great. It's been really great. I found a really happy place on the internet that like dudes are really stepping up, and I love that. I love all of you dudes stepping up. Those of you who are quietly doing it, like, love you too. And that was my push to start.
I love that. You know, I'm stuck between two push to start, so I'm trying to spit them out both really fast, because one of them actually piggybacks off of kind of what you were just saying. And spoiler alert. If you do not like spoilers, I'm very sorry, and this might be the only time that I tell you to do this, but stop listening. Don't watch the rest, or skip forward a minute and 30 seconds. I don't know.
2 minutes to be safe.
Yeah, anyway, I recently watched Fresh, and that movie, it's on Hulu, pushed so many of my buttons, like in an uncomfortable way, in a good way. Long story short, it is Psycho, Cuckoo Cuckoo, like new Patrick Bateman status, Cuckoo Cuckoo, American Psycho,
Okay.
if anyone, American Psycho, whatever, that movie. He fucking kidnaps girls and fucking sells their meat.
Excuse me.
And
I just burped out of discomfort for all of that.
Like, I was shooketh. Like, and turned it into a whole ass business. Like, the details of that movie made me so happy, and it was so disturbing, but yet so funny. And the little pieces of commentary that were left in terms of the way that we're attached to our phones and like we'll almost die without them. Bitch turned around for her motherfucking phone. I was like, you're gonna die. What is wrong with you? Anyway, that was a piece of it, but the details of packaging the meat, like putting their bra and panties with it and selling it to people, sunglasses, a picture of
My
them.
skin is crawling.
Yeah, it was worth more if they were alive. Like, it was wild. But the way it tied into the commentary and the symbolism there is the effect that trauma, specifically sexual assault, has on women, and the way that we are seen as commodities and like something to be owned and to have, like, and to take like an object and to take pieces of, and that trauma stays in our body and we carry with us for the rest of our life. And this was a very literal way to show and
that,
to tell that to an audience, and to men specifically. Well, maybe not men, but to our society, to the audience, of how this trauma happens, and the way that they relate. It's like someone's one of the females, like, he took her boobs, took her breast. One of them took her ass. Like, one of them took their leg, and so like, it stays with you, and it creeps up on you in the night, or it creeps up on you, like that trauma creeps up on you, like when you're with another partner, or like it just it's
randomly
there.
Yeah.
And having to adjust to that, and a lot of the time the abuser, the person who did the assaulting or put on the trauma, like, is benefiting or walking away, or like, and
there's no repercussions.
Right. And no, it's not all, like, it's one of those things, but there is this level that just hit, and it pushed so many buttons. So y'all, if you made it to this point and you skipped before, go watch Fresh. Not any type, like, it was for, like, I don't, some of our male counterparts may not enjoy it as much. because it's not male bashing, but there wasn't one redeemable man in this movie. It walked a fine line, and so some will say like, well, what the fuck? But also, yo, we're not talking about you. Like, and this isn't about you. Watch it, enjoy it, like, and go on about your merry way. And so that, as you can see, had me all types of all over the place. It was fucking great. So good. 10/10, recommend. And so then my other button, because I would forget, and it's really small, I promise. I just
It's okay. We like buttons of all sizes.
Right? Yo, I did something in yoga the other day that I did not think my body was capable of doing.
Okay.
It was after the fact. We just fucking around, playing, laughing, whatever. And shout out Shahada Kareem. Like, she is in charge of all of this.
Habibi Body.
Yes.
Habibi Body
Check
Sport.
her out. She the shit. She's like, I was doing the splits on the floor like I do, stretching, whatever. She's like, I want to be able to do it in the doorway. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And some of you may have seen, I put it in my story again. You know, so she dragged me over to the doorway. She took my leg. She threw it up on the thing.
Wait, you've never...
No, I've never done a door split. And
not even like a wall?
No. And it's almost like a standing split.
Yeah, no,
like,
I have practice.
And the thing is,
that's a regular...
we get into standing split all the time in HPF.
In HPF.
And so when I'm down there and then she took the picture and then I looked at the picture, I was like, that's me? That's my body? My leg, oh my God, my legs down here, my leg, like, I was like, I was so amazed and just fell a little bit more in love with myself and my body. And I was just like, bitch, check you out. Like, just feeling all types of fabulous. And yes, like, feeling like no one can tell me anything. I was like, bitch, leg just up there. And felt super good, felt super, like, just all of the things.
It's a great picture.
Yes.
Check it out.
Yo. And so I had to push to start that.
Yay. Okay, we love that.
Yes. And so, okay. So y'all, we're going to move in to our button of the week, which I think is also, like, we don't plan for this. It just happens. Like, what we got?
All right, so we're having a little body talk. This is gonna be a little bit of a trigger warning for anyone with an eating disorder. But I have lately been coming to terms with a little bit of trigger, I guess, for an eating disorder that I have struggled with for most of my life. And shout out to Christy in therapy.
Holding it down.
Holding the space for me to fucking feel my feelings. Something that I've had I've been struggling of like kind of just keeping my life together, as we all are in this panini. And something that happens when I'm stressed is I'm an emotional eater until I'm not. And like when I lose control in a lot of areas in my life, I can control what I'm putting in my mouth.
Yes. I have trouble with that sometimes too, but differently. Anyway,
so I, in a weird control way, I don't stop eating. I don't necessarily struggle with anorexia, but it is very easy for me to be complacent about when I'm eating. And I think that many of us, when we're stressed, we are all that like, I'm going to eat until I'm not eating anymore because I'm just so stressed. And I do not have that level of stress right now, which is like a lack of control. So I've just been shifting with my body, and I've been working out a little bit more because that makes me feel better. And I've been watching what I'm eating more to eat healthy things and to not snack mindlessly like I have done. I've also cut back smoking a little bit, which munchies
are a thing.
So there's a lot of things that I've been doing to better myself in my life, but also there's like an underlying trigger that whenever my body changes.
Oh, yes. Not being so nice to it, or
it's not even like not being nice for me. It's just like I don't know how to. I don't sometimes like recognize myself physically. And then when you like one day you like look at yourself and you're like, oh, I'm different, but I don't know I don't know how to be that body, or you know, that's something that I'm like in that phase, or like getting out of that phase. And people who make comments about my body when I'm not ready really hits me. And I've had a lot of feedback from people recently of like, oh, you look great, or like just comments. And that's been super hard. That has been really fucking hard.
That's interesting, Mama. Like the comments in terms of, I know when I receive these comments, like the intent is, it's
There's
well-intended.
intent there. Yes. To like, oh, I think I'm paying you a favor. I'm showing you
Paying
love.
you a compliment.
I'm helping you, but like,
sometimes
it's not.
It does the opposite.
It's very much the opposite.
As the person giving the comment, how, like, I know there's been things floating around in the ether in terms of like ways to compliment people without complimenting them on their body, just in case they are triggered by those things. But I was at first having a hard time understanding like where we were going with this, because I was like, what? But I get it, because there are times where, yes, I'm like, yes,
you're
bitch,
feeling yourself,
I'm
and
feeling
you're
myself,
like, yes, I
body's
look
on
good.
point,
You tell me I look good because I do, and yes, all about it.
And then there are times, and even sometimes these times they're not really logical in my to others looking out in terms of like my body. There are times I feel like a busted can of biscuits and not feeling so hot, and people pay me that compliment of like, you look great, and I'm like, no, I fucking don't.
You're like,
thank you, like, or I know I could look better, and it's like, yo, whoa, or even
who
like,
is she?
like, right, like, who is this demon in my head? And or there's times like I feel like you're lying to me and I don't look great, and you're just saying that, or. And so
there's a range of directions that those like thoughts can go based on
and being like that constant work to be okay with the skin that you're in and the body that you have and where it is at its point. Like sometimes it's like the time of the day makes a difference in how your body looks,
what you ate, what you're drinking, not drinking,
what you did the day before, if you hydrated. Like so many things go into
our bodies.
Yes. And so being able to be well adjusted about it, but also give yourself the space, because like, how do you know, like, am I being cuckoo here, or do I actually need to make some changes, especially for those who have eating disorders or struggle with body
insecurity,
dysmorphia,
just about how they look. Like you don't even have to have an eating disorder or body dysmorphia to be like, yeah, some days I don't feel hot.
Right. And the crazy beauty standards that are out there, even though I do see them shifting and it's changing, and it's fucking beautiful to see all shapes, sizes, colors. Like it's great. So excited in the direction that we're going, but it doesn't mean that there are certain standards out there that have been set or that we have set for ourselves that may be unrealistic and just, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And so trying to find that healthy balance of what it is that looks like is the button we're pushing.
It's hard. I think something, and this was something that I experienced recently, was someone made a comment about my body, and I was not in a not good mood, and I was like, I don't want to have this conversation with you. I don't want to explain to you in this moment why you shouldn't say something like that to anyone. And the cultural aspect of that was one thing. The stranger, I don't know you, was one thing. Ooh. And this is just not the right fucking day. Like, I was buying chocolate because I was on the end of my fucking period, and I was like, give me the fucking chocolate, and no, that's all. I'm giving you money, I want my chocolate, that's it. And the comment was like, oh yeah, you look like you need to eat. Like, you're super skinny. And that was like, I was like, I have a fucking like so many things, and I'm like, I look like a normal sized human being. So like, why did you have to say that? And the cultural background is, it was from a Hispanic woman. And it is very culturally like, if you are not, you are either too fat or you are too skinny. You are too much of anything, and it's very frowned upon to
be in the middle
to be
of that.
healthy, to take care of your body, and to not sacrifice your body for kids, because you're helping everyone. Like, there's lots of things. But essentially, like, if you are in a thinnerish, not super thick, like, yeah, you're skinny, there's something wrong with you. Damn. And so, like, it was just all of those things, and I was like, I fucking can't. I can't.
I'm going to explode on you and not.
And like, my buildup has nothing to do with you, but like, also you need to read the room. Read the room, and that's like my biggest thing that I want people to take away is like, it is perfectly fine to admire someone for how they look. Perfectly fine. You don't always need to say that though. Like,
right.
If you see someone is looking a little dejected and you're like, you know what, I bet just saying a nice thing would be good.
Oh, yes,
you can just say, hey, I hope you're having a great day. Like, you have a lovely smile. You can be very surface, but like, you look very thin. Like, commenting on weight and size, I just feel like now we should accept as like a no.
That is so interesting. Okay, devil's advocate, kind of also me weirdo, or however this wants to be received. I received a similar comment recently, like, "Oh, you look thin. Eat something," or "Here, like, eat this," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like, do I? Good, because I don't feel like it. And in that moment, that is how I was choosing to receive the comment. Like, there was a small piece of me that was like a little twisted about it. I was like, huh. But I was like, you know what? I do. Thank you. Yes. And so like I see the
But the thing
both.
is, it's not about you. It's about them. That's exactly like it is. For you, that was like, yeah, awesome. Like, okay.
Yep.
And you have a different journey than I do.
Exactly.
And that's where it's like, okay, sometimes at some frame of mind, if someone tells me that I look unhealthily thin, yes, if I am in a negative space, I am like, yeah, I am fucking skinny, okay? You know, and I have learned that like, if I receive a compliment, like if I receive verbiage like that and I feel that way, it is not necessarily the best thought for me to be like, oh, we fucking, we got bones out. Like, that's not okay for me. But I am on a very different journey than you. I'm on a very different journey than many of you. So like, that's where it's like.
But overall, like that kind of comment, you would think and you would hope overall, like I get that we should be at a point where it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. You're better than that. Like regardless of the intent, you do not know how it is going to affect someone. And I don't mean on that layer of, you know, because I hear some people be like, oh, today's generation or today's society, everyone's so sensitive and everyone like is in their feelings and offended and this, that, and the third. Like, okay, pipe down, Chachi. I fucking hear you. Like, yes.
There are some things that like we are softer about that I agree.
Yes.
We don't necessarily need to be. But also like you have to go from the extreme of like you don't have a choice and you like this is how it is to like you have all the choice. Like, you know, we have to be coddled as well as like hard-handled,
tough love, whatever you want to call it.
Like,
but that also goes back to reading the motherfucking room. Like in terms of, and especially if it's a comment coming from someone that like, if you are familiar with that person, if you know that person, even as a stranger, there's a certain element of like, I have a lot of hope in humanity and people, and I'm like, I feel like people aren't as stupid as they like put out that they are.
Yeah.
They just don't want to put in the work or expel the energy to do so. There's a certain level of like not wanting to have to, and just.
I mean, yeah, because who wants to go out of their who wants to go out of their way to do things sometimes? Like,
yep,
not a lot of, but I will. But like, yeah, not.
But yeah, sometimes like, and so yes, all of the sides to that button or all of the whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a circle, and we're pushing it.
It is. I mean, yes. And I think that like in this conversation of like read the room and like you don't necessarily have to comment on people's bodies, it is kind of like why do we feel that we are allowed to comment on someone else's body? Because like, you know, for someone who's obese, you don't necessarily look at them and say like, you need to stop eating, you need to work out, you know, you're doing this wrong, because
it has nothing to do with us.
It has nothing to do with us. There's so many reasons why someone might be obese. There's also reasons why someone might be very thin. And we
don't know their lives.
Oftentimes it's not just an eating disorder. There's invisible illnesses, disability, cancer. Like people can lose a lot lot of from cancer.
You don't know what someone's going through and why their body is the way that it is.
Addiction can change your body to lots of things. And it's, I mean, we can comment on someone's driving. Okay. We can comment on a lot of things that are like kind of a safe thing to say about people. But like, why do we feel the right to do that for someone else's body?
Why are we entitled to, that's...
And I think we have been in a patriarchal society where, yes, men commenting on women's bodies is pretty regular.
It's the norm.
So women commenting on women's bodies is then accepted. But like, I'm not catcalling. I don't typically comment on men's bodies to them. I say it to myself. I say it to my friends. So I think that's something that I'm like, I hope as we're in this societal shift of like understanding boundaries and like respecting other people and like really holding ourselves and our genders or our friends or everyone a little bit more accountable to being respectful of each other. I think that like kind of like shutting the fuck up about other people's bodies is what I hope for. Like
you worry about yourself.
Opinions, like you can absolutely think whatever you want to think.
And
journal
share it with people or
you know, put it in the group text, you know, within reason, I think. But like, it's just like, why kind of going back into the selling a woman before you eat her? Like, who gave you the right to do? Like, why is that okay? Like,
because for like in that instance, but also in this, it's because we can. Like, or we think that we can.
Think we can because no one has gotten up on their soapbox enough to say. And that's the thing is, I think like Christy was like, you don't want to carry your soapbox with you. Like, it's not my job to educate and I cannot change this thing. I cannot change it or I cannot save it, but I can encourage change, that I can be part of the change.
Yes.
So I don't need to, and that was like my question for her was like, how do I feel this and like allow myself to feel it, but also actually
do something
without being the crazy bitch who's like, you can't talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like we've all seen or like had a moment where like someone goes off the deep end like they were just pushed there. And it's like, like how do we fucking get out of this moment, you know? And no one wants to, I don't think, no one wants to be that person. Like it's embarrassing to stand out from the crowd sometimes. Like it is. And how do we have that conversation without blowing up at someone?
But also there's a certain level of like when you blow up like that, there's a certain level of standing up for yourself and also setting the tone, changing the pace, all of that, and being there's this Issa Rae puts it, I fucked that. It wasn't Issa, but Issa is great.
We love Issa.
Michaela Coleman, is it Coleman? Not, God damn it. I can do this, y'all. Stay with me.
What'd she say?
No, I'm the show, the fucking show. I may destroy you.
Oh, okay.
It is Michaela, but I forgot her last name. Boo, I'm so sorry. Alyssa might look it up. Anyway, there is a scene where she had wrote a poem or like had this speech about sometimes having to scream louder about something so that people know that this is something that we can talk about, needs to be talked about, other people can see it. Sometimes we have to scream louder on things, like not unnecessarily, but we have to cause a wave in it so it can start to to
I
be
mean,
a
we
ripple
don't know things
effect.
unless someone says them out loud.
Right.
It's like a communication, but it's also like, how do you
say it in a way that doesn't make you fucking crazy and like on your soapbox, but in a
and
way,
be like so snowflake sensitive while also
Right.
being like, this is fucking wrong.
and
Like,
this is important, and like this needs to be talked about, and
because we can't pivot something without being aware that we need to pivot, because
Right.
like that's a read my mind that you shouldn't do this. Like,
Yep.
no, it's partially read the room and like be aware that like watch the things that we say, because words do fucking matter and they are very important, but it's also like a much greater, like, have micro conversations and micro bursts, I guess, of like, okay, sometimes we have to read the room as the person who's like, I'm about to explode, of like, sometimes you can tell when you're gonna have a moment and it will be received well if you proceed with caution. But if you just explode, like, do you want someone to explode at you? Like, no, I don't. So
I think
there's a balance. It's like a dance on both sides of, if you're going to say something, be mindful of what you say. If something is said to you, be mindful of how you respond. And it sucks that like the burden has to be on both parties for things that they may or may not know that's an issue, but like having the dialogue once in a while helps to like at least skirt it along.
Yep.
But I think it's
and
still
establish
something
that foundation.
in media we need to see or hear more of, like, this is not necessary. And someone who did make this statement clear was Jonah Hill in 2000.
That's right.
2021.
Yep.
I mean, we've all seen how
we
he's
know.
changed.
He looks great. Like,
And-
you can leave it at that. You look great. Unless he's like is okay and open to talk about and go down that journey, which he is not.
I mean,
was not.
weight loss and gain is not a fun journey. Like, it's not fun to talk about at all. I don't think. When it is, it's kind of like it's not always the best. From my experience, like for people who have a healthy relationship with weight gain and loss, it's probably fine. But like, he was very clear, like, I don't enjoy these conversations. I don't enjoy people talking about my body this way. Leave me alone. Like, I just want to exist.
Like, that's
he
enough.
was like,
Yes, we are aware. Like, I have gone through a transformation, and I'm over talking about it.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's the paparazzi getting shirtless pictures of people, like, oh, look at this flabby body, like, can you guess their age? Like, those types of things we see in the media, and that's what
And
I
make
think
us think that it's okay as
perpetuates
well.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, if someone has had a baby, their body is gonna be fucking different.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, fuck off.
If someone has gained weight and then lost it, their body is gonna be different. And like, your body changes with water in the morning versus, like, there's so many things that like affect the way that we look. And sometimes it's hard enough to just feel okay with how we look. Why do we have to blow that up for someone and like push someone else down to like, why? Whether it makes you feel better,
Yep.
whether it doesn't make
Yeah.
you feel better, if you do it out of maliciousness or you think you're doing someone a favor, like, we are so much more than what we look like. So I think, like, try to think of compliments that are more about the person, more aspects of someone than their body is like a way to be able to do this. If someone is making the comments about your body and you're uncomfortable, think about how much it really affects you and like why it affects you. And that's like the journey that I'm on, is trying to get off my soapbox, or not even grab my soapbox, to have this discussion. But like, okay, I understand this is not about me, this is maybe about them, and like trying to frame it as like, they have no idea what I'm going through. I also don't know what they're going through.
Right.
Maybe they are struggling.
It's a projection. They see something, and what they're feeling is a projection of their feelings onto you. And so,
and it's literally about them. It's not about you.
Yes.
And that's like, just think about, sometimes I feel like we need to be more selfish, just in different ways than we are currently being selfish.
Yes.
Think about
I'm
your
gonna throw this
own
out
shit.
there. If y'all are not already doing it, one of the best compliments that you can give someone that has nothing to do about their body, their appearance, like, yo, you've got great energy. Like, you can't fucking go wrong with that. Like, just boom. you leave it at that. It's a great
Simple, but like,
compliment.
please drop some of your favorite compliments to give or receive that are kind of safe, neutral, that aren't about someone's body, I guess. If you also have ways that if you are triggered by certain phrases that are said commonly about bodies, like how do you get over them? If you are someone who has never thought about this and you do make these comments, like do you have any thoughts, feelings, opinions on how it can be approached, how you would like to be approached to say, you know, maybe that's uncomfortable. Would love lots of feedback here because like this is an ongoing struggle for me, and I'm in my early 30s and finally at a place that I feel comfortable talking about it. Jonah Hill was 37 when he was like, I finally feel comfortable in my body. And like,
that's a journey. Like I kind of related, not so much. I'm gonna share it. Completely forgot to put it in my story the other day. It is saved, but I saw a little quote that said, "The relationship that we have with ourselves is the most difficult because we're not going anywhere. Like we can't run from us. We can't be like peace, bye. I mean, we can, but y'all know what I'm trying to say.
But like
we have to live with every mistake that we make, every decision. That like we have to deal with everything and stay here, even in the times that we are disgusted with ourselves. Like, and so we have to learn to be comfortable with ourselves, all of us, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And so it is a journey. It is an everyday thing. It is a process, and it sucks sometimes. Sometimes it's great, but learning how to be comfortable and like love even the gross things about you, even though they may not be gross and it's all
gross
up here.
Can mean a lot of things.
Yes, for so many. And so like I love and hate hearing that it took Jonah Hill until 37 to be comfortable like with himself. Like lets me know I'm like, oh shit, like okay, all right. Like it's hard. And so if you're there, awesome, great. Sometimes you are there and you lose it and you have to get back. And that's okay too. Just because you've made it to that point of being comfortable with yourself doesn't mean you won't fall out of it and have to learn how to fall back in love with yourself or accept the changes that your body's going through, accept the changes that your life are going through. Like, yo, we were in a car and we're like, yo, we got to make some financial adjustments. And I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot how to do that. And I have to, like, I got to figure out how to, like, be comfortable with that about myself and live within the means of what is here.
Of what we can live in.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, shit. That's the thing. Anyway, I feel like we need to start pressing replay real quick.
We do. Okay, so.
Yeah, love this. Love these
This
buttons.
week, our press replay is on our series, We've Gotta Talk.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We're going to do the things so that you can see it. And if you're listening, hop over to YouTube and watch it.
We will link to
I
the
don't know
clip.
how to do that yet.
All right, well, we'll get you there. We will get you there. Okay, so this video is one of the first videos in the series.
Oh, shit.
Talking about poop. Okay, so.
I didn't know that's where we were going. All right, let's do this. What? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I'm trying to remember these comments, y'all.
So there's a lot of comments. We love the feedback and the interactions here. Essentially, the video is this short series is following a couple along a relationship. Excuse me while I word. And the first time that you are comfortable with the P word
in front of
with your
the
partner,
other. Like
someone that you're intimate with.
I feel like sometimes it comes in levels because, like, for me, also like farting, like was a thing too. Like it's like farting in front of them for the first time and then pooping, or like what the boundary is there, and then getting comfortable. But then we're like, yo, I don't know all the goddamn time. Shit. Anyway, what are some? Okay, I think it's my turn. So I love this. Just Jeff. If you're comfortable doing it in front of your partner, I think it's fine. Thank you for another good episode. And
that's very like if it seems like
awesome, but it's also a matter of respecting each other's boundaries.
If one partner is fine with it and the other is not,
then they are not, and give them their space to poop in peace. Okay, is the thing. And if they don't want to be around you when you are pooping, be respectful of that too. Don't come in to the motherfucking shower and be like and drop a deuce and then stink up the whole
that is
bathroom.
like the biggest disrespect. That is
the disrespect.
I can't even get out of here. Like if it's one thing, I'm in there brushing my teeth. I don't know. Staring at myself in the mirror, like imagining my pores disappear. Like, yeah, there's other mirrors that I can go. Like,
I'm in here
stare
trying to
into.
get clean, and you are here making me feel all kinds of dirty.
This hot box is not the kind of hot box that I'm trying to have. Like,
Right?
that's exactly.
No, like
There is a level of disrespect there and maliciousness.
I need to be up this way. I just realized because I'm down over here. I love this D-Biz. I don't even want to be in the vicinity when my girl's on the toilet, and when I'm on the toilet, leave me the hell alone. Yes, I know a lot of folks who, even if they're not like pooping in that moment, like they're on their phone, you know, playing a game or reading an article, watching a YouTube video, and it is, again, peace. It is their time. Like
that
sometimes,
is the safest place
yes,
to
and
be
you don't
alone.
want to be bothered. I'm in here for a reason, and hopefully the door is locked. I'm bad about locking.
I don't lock the door because I came from a household of 6, so
Same.
like we
Don't
didn't
lock
have the
the door.
luxury of like. Sometimes somebody's got to fucking drop a bomb while you're in there, and you open the door, and I mean, can't whatever. But like, if you are in a space that there is room. Allow that room to happen.
Just
That's why
please.
I'm a 2-bedroom or a 2-bathroom must.
A lot of people
house.
like this video. Like a lot of the comments are like, "Give me another one. Give me
It's
another
an uncomfortable
one."
conversation. My current partner, something early into our relationship is he was like, I felt comfortable talking about poop with you because you had wipes, and I was like, I mean, I would like a clean fucking yes.
No, there's this.
And I was very like at the time I was hardcore drinking celery juice right away in the morning, and I was actively saying like it's important for me to have a healthy poo in the morning.
Yo,
like
we about that poop life. It's funny because you can peep the hints on like how comfortable someone's gonna be about poop talk because like example the wipes. We also bidet, squatty potty. Like yes.
we take it seriously because you got to get shit out.
Literally,
like
it is important. And also something else that I realized, like why this video has so many comments and why it's so popular. It is a thing. I didn't understand that there's a certain level of fetish for some people around poop and watching their partner poop, like catching them doing.
It's an intimate thing.
Yes, catching them doing an intimate thing, but also catching them. Like one comment that I received offline of the video was like the faces and the noises that are made that are similar, like to sex almost, or somewhat like erotic, and I had to think about that, and I was like, oh shit, the grunts and the or even just like I was like, oh, that makes sense. I had no
I understand
idea. And
I guess
or even just like, but yeah, I was shook in a way that I didn't realize I needed or wanted to be shook. I don't know. There's so many feelings there. I was very like, I loved the insight of like watching someone else poop. I didn't know was a thing, like, and was so curious about that. There's also a whole other like,
there are avenues.
Like, yes, there's avenues to that is all I'm gonna say here. We're not really PG or PG-13, but like that's just where I want to be today. Like I just anyway. So I was. Yo, love the comments on this video. I'm like we're gonna try and go down that avenue a little bit more and talk about other things that are boundaries for significant others. But unless you got anything else, Mama, I think we gonna put a button on this. And that's what we got. Do all of the things in terms of like listening, share.
Download, leave a review, subscribe, follow, comment on the video if you're watching it. If you have a poop story that you would like to share, an approach on, that conversation, we're into it. Check out the video, And that's all we got. We gonna see y'all next week. Bye. Bye.